What is going on YouTube? Joe here with Culination Media, and welcome back for another live Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire Wi-Fi battle against a subscriber/follower on Twitter. Today we're going up against Andrew in a UU match, and he said he was only bringing one UU Pokemon. That was the Mega that he wanted to use, so I am following suit here and bringing just one UU Pokemon, which is going to be Starmie, as you can see in the bottom right-hand corner. The rest of the team I'll go over in a second, but before we do that, just a friendly little reminder in case you guys haven't done so already and you would like to show your support to the channel and the series and all that fun stuff. You can do so by clicking that like button right below this video. That does help out a lot, and so do your comments, so feel free to leave your thoughts or suggestions down below. And yeah, all that fun stuff. Now, moving on to the team here, we have Specially Defensive Starmie, which is one of my favorite sets to use. Physically Defensive works out well too, but we got Scald, Psyshock, Recover, and Rapid Spin there. Then we have Physically Defensive Gligar, also packing the Defog, so we have plenty of ways to remove hazards, which we're going to need because we have Fletchinder on the team as well, and Acrobatics, I'm assuming, are going to help us out a lot. And actually, looking at this team, I see a couple of Pokemon that Acrobatics will definitely do a big number on, including the Beedrill, which is going to be Mega, I'm assuming. Alright, so we've gone over Starmie and Gligar and Fletchinder. We also have Mega Sceptile, which is going to be fun to use, of course. And unfortunately, I don't think Lightning Rod's going to come into play, but Grass actually is very good coverage against my opponent's team here. And we're also packing the HP Fire, so that could be good against the Obamasnow. Then we have Barbara the Ferroseed, also packing the Eviolite. It's going to be our Spike Setter. I don't have anyone that can set up Stealth Rocks, as I believe the rest of that set on the Ferroseed is Leech Seed, and then Gyro Ball, missing a move. I don't know what the fourth move is off the top of my head for some reason. I know it's not Stealth Rocks. I don't think it's T-Wave either. I don't even know. I think it's just Protect. That makes sense because of Leech Seed. Anyway, I don't even know my own sets right now. This is crazy. And then we have Jabba the Hitmonchan. You guys have seen that quite a few times. I have a couple of different Hitmonchans. This one is the Bulk Up set. I also have a Power Up Punch set, which I tend to use as an Assault Vest user. This one is just packing the Lefties for some nice recovery there. So we're starting off with Mega Sceptile, and we'll see what my opponent wants to start off with. I was expecting either Rhyperior or Claydol for Stealth Rocks, but it's going to be Snowman, which is the Obamasnow. The hail is going to start to fall. Now, as for the item, possibly an Icy Rock, or Lefties even. I would expect the Beedrill will be Mega, so I think we're safe from that. And I do know from previous experience that Hidden Power Fire from a Mega Sceptile does take out Obamasnow unless it is like fully specially defensive. So we should be safe there. I doubt if he's starting off with it like this that it's going to be a specially defensive set. So, and looking at the rest of my team, we kind of get pooped on by this thing. If it's offensive, it can kind of just poop on my entire team, sadly. I really don't have any switch-ins. So, our best bet is probably just to Mega Evolve here and go for the HP Fire. And I know I'm running a little bit of a weird set. I don't even have Dragon Pulse on here, which you would think you'd want to run for some extra, or just for a dual stab. But I opted to go for Giga Drain over that. I'm just testing things out to see how it goes. I may switch it back. I don't know. But we're going for the HP Fire, and that is not going to KO. Oh my goodness, we're going to go down to a Blizzard here. That has to be Assault Vest or fully specially defensive. That is the only way that Obamasnow would survive. And I don't see Lefties. I'm going to say that's probably Assault Vest. I mean, we would know for sure. The only other thing it would be the Icy Rock. So I guess we would know after 5 turns if the hail goes away. But that kind of stinks. That really stinks. I'm going to go for the Acrobatics here. And I know he can switch in his... I guess he could switch in Pawniard here into this Acrobatics. Or he could switch in the Rhyperior. We'll see what he wants to go into. It's going to be the Claydol, which I don't know if that's physically defensive or not. It might be. Still takes a solid like 30% from that though. And it's going to be buffeted by the hail. It's going to show off the Lefties as well, so it probably has Stealth Rock and Rapid Spin, and then either EQ or Earth Power. And then I don't know what the other move would be. Could be Protect, could be Ice Beam, could be a Psychic type stab like Psychic, for instance. Either way, I feel pretty confident going into Starmie. Especially if you want to take this opportunity to set up the Stealth Rocks, we can Rapid Spin those away. He does not have any spin blockers. I'm trying to think. No, he's got the Beedrill, he's got the Pawniard, he's got this Claydol, Slowking, Obamasnow, and Rhyperior. So no spin blockers, we can just freely Rapid Spin, and as long as this Claydol is specially inclined, we are going to take no damage from this whatsoever. And he probably is just going to want to switch, I would guess, because if I am offensive, which I would think that's what most Starmies would be, that's usually what I see, but I like the defensive variant. But yeah, we're going to go for the Rapid Spin either way. So yeah, there's the switch as expected because he didn't want to give up his Claydol. He just did not want that to happen. We will Rapid Spin these rocks away as Obamasnow comes in, and we're in good shape here because even if this thing is Assault Vest, which I'm assuming that it is, because if it was specially defensive, I would assume that it would be carrying the lefties. So the good news is that we have Psyshock. So that will hit it on its weaker physically defensive side, and I don't think it's worth trying to switch anything into this. I think our best option is to just go for the Psyshock, and it is specially inclined from what we see. I mean, we saw the Blizzard. I know it could be mixed and be carrying the Wood Hammer, but more likely than not, if it was carrying anything, it would be Giga Drain here. And it's not going to matter because Obamasnow goes down. But what I was trying to get at there was that the Giga Drain is a special attack. We're specially defensive Starmie, so we can take that somewhat okay. Either way, I think that pretty much just solidifies our suspicion as the Hail does wear off after 5 turns. So I'm going to stick by my prediction that that was Assault Vest. Unless I just am way, way off. But I don't think so. At least not on this one. I'm way, way off on some things, but not this one. So we got Pawniard coming out here, Swordsman. It's a decent nickname for a Pawniard, I guess, right? Makes sense. Now, I don't want to stay out here. You're probably going to go for a knockoff, and we do have Flint, which can take knockoffs pretty easily. But is that really what I want to switch in here? I don't know. I mean, we can do with switching in Hitmonchan to remove the lefties, I would think. I think we can take that just fine. And then without lefties, we can easily switch this into knockoffs later on, as long as he doesn't get up a Swords Dance. So yeah, that does not quite half. And there goes the lefties. We can force this thing out. He does have Slowking and Claydol to come in. I would assume that Slowking would be the one that would come in on this. But either way, I'm going for the Drain Punch. And no, this is going to be Claydol again. Okay, that's a little bit curious. Unless this is just physically defensive Claydol. But I feel like the physical attacks are doing more than expected. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. That brings him down to just about half. He'll get a little bit more back thanks to his lefties there. And I don't know if I feel confident enough to go for Ice Punch. Maybe we should just go for it. Let's do it. Let's go for the Ice Punch. And we'll see if this can KO. And he barely is going to hang on here. He goes for the Toxic. So he's got probably Rapid Spin, Stealth Rock, Toxic. Have we seen an attacking move? I don't think we have. So now, where he is now as far as his HP, this is likely just going to become a fodder Pokemon. I think he's going to switch out into Slowking here. Either way, I'm going for Drain Punch. We can at least get a little bit of HP back, and we can switch out. Now, I don't know if he was predicting me to go into Starmie there, and that's why he went for the Toxic. But we do have the Natural Cure, so we can use Starmie as a status absorber, because as soon as we switch out, it gets cured. Thus, the Natural Cure. That did a lot of damage. It has to be a crit, and it is. We'll get a decent chunk of HP back, actually way more than I had expected. Slowking is going to show off his lefties. So we have Slowking and Claydol with the lefties. Just keeping in mind all of the items that we've seen so far. Obamasnow is gone, so that's not important. The Pawniard likely has the Eviolite. And the Beedrill is going to be Mega. So the only other one we would need to figure out would be that Rhyperior. So we don't know yet. Could be bunch of different things. That could be lefties, it could be Rocky Helmet, it could be Life Orb, so many different options. But trying to keep it all straight here. I'm going to switch into Starla as he goes for the Slack Off to get back up to full HP. He also has the Regenerator, so he could have just switched out, but he opted to go for that. Maybe trying to stall me a little bit for some poison damage, but I'm not having any of that. And here, I'm just going to go for Scalds until I get a burn, honestly. He doesn't have any Clerics, and that's just what needs to happen. He goes for the T-Wave. Interesting. I mean, he hasn't been able to see if I was offensive or not. And now he probably knows I'm not offensive because I have Scald. So, usually Starmie would carry like Hydro Pump or Surf or something if it was offensive. Usually, not all the time. So he's Calm Mind Slack Off T-Wave, which means he only has one attacking move and we resist both of his stabs. So I feel pretty confident staying in and just continuing to go for the burn here. That's 2 Scalds, no burn, which kind of stinks. But like I said, being T-Waved is not that big of a problem. As soon as we switch out, we'll get rid of that that paralysis. So when we come back in next time, we'll be fine. But even if he gets up to +6, I'm not that afraid. He just has Scald. That's not doing that much at all. Yeah, that does, what, 32 HP? And we are fully paralyzed and unable to move. No surprise there, unfortunately. That's just how paralysis works for me. I get fully powered all the time. It's kind of ridiculous, actually. But we're fine here. We have the recover. If it comes to that, he's going to set up some more Calm Minds. And this is just a little bit boring here. But we need to get a burn. That's what we need. I know he has the Slack Off. I know he has the Regenerator to get all that HP back. But we need the passive damage. That's what we need to break this. And finally, after the 3rd Scald, we land the burn. He has no way to cure it that I can think of. I mean, looking at his team, I don't see anything that would typically carry a Cleric type move like Heal Bell. So we appear to be in the clear here. Now would be when we would want to switch out. I want to keep Hitmonchan around just because Mach Punch could be very useful against that Pawniard. And that will pretty much allow us to revenge kill it, especially if we end up allowing it to get up a Swords Dance or 2. And we do outspeed naturally, I think. I'm not running full speed investment, but not that it's really going to matter. Anyway, we can switch in Barbara here. And we can set up a Leech Seed because Obamasnow is gone. And then we can set up some spikes if we want, and it'll be a good time. So he's going to go for the T-Wave. Wait a minute. He predicted a switch there. Interesting. He had to have predicted a switch unless that was a misclick because we already had Starmie out there who was paralyzed. So that could have potentially been a waste of a turn. But having Ferroseed paralyzed is actually quite good for us. Believe it or not. Because one, that increases the power of Gyro Ball since it makes us slower. And that power is based off of speed. But also, it makes sure that he can't burn us with Scald, so that puts us in a great position. He is going to go into the Pawniard, and we're fully powered again, and unable to get off the Leech Seed. Man, the paralysis just gets on my nerves. I just can't win with that. Alright, we're going to go into Hitmonchan here. I know I can take a knockoff, and I'm pretty sure that's what's coming, because he wants to get rid of the Eviolite. And there we go. So that doesn't do too much, because we don't have our lefties. And even with that toxic damage, I think we can take one more. Not by a lot, but I think we can take one more, and we can fire off a Drain Punch. The worst that happens is that he just goes back into Slowking. We do this whole song and dance all over again. But I don't know. He may try to go for the kill here. It's very, very possible. He's thinking about his move. It looked like the animation was about to start there, that's why I got quiet. No, so he does outspeed. He goes for the knockoff. So if we went for Iron Head there, we would be dead right now. But I'm not sure if he predicted a switch, or if he thought the knockoff would kill, or I don't know what it was, or it was like a speed tie or something. I have no idea. No idea. Regardless, we get the Drain Punch, and that is a dead Pawniard. So a big threat out of the way. We still had Gligar, which could check it because we have EQ, and yeah. And we still had Flint, too, the Fletchinder, which Doesn't necessarily hit it for a lot of damage with acrobatics, but we could have burned it, and the chances of it carrying a Lumberry were pretty slim. I'm sure it had the Eviolite there. But now we can let Hitmonchan go down. So whatever comes in, we can just keep attacking until Hitmonchan goes down, see how much damage we can get off. And this is going to be the Beedrill. Alrighty then. Most of the time, these things just go for the Protect on the first turn. So they usually carry Protect, Drill Run, and then U-Turn and Poison Jab. Knockoff could be another move that they carry, but I don't know what you would get rid of for that. I guess just get rid of Drill Run, maybe? I think either way, I want to go for a bulk up here because Beedrill should outspeed, because, you know, everybody runs max speed on the Beedrill, so yeah, we're going to get outsped either way, so it's not really going to matter. There's the Mega Beedrill, looking as fierce as ever, and he does just opt to go for the Poison Jab because he naturally outspeeds, not a bad play, and it's going to take out Jabba anyway, so there you go. But Jabba did put in the work we needed him to because he took out that Pawniard. But now we can apply some offensive pressure here, go into Flint, and I clicked Acrobatics, and as soon as I did that, I just realized I should have clicked Will-O-Wisp because he's going to go right into Rhyperior here. I forgot that he had the Rhyperior. I made that move too fast. Should have thought that through a little bit more because there we go. He makes a predictable play. And, I mean, to be fair, I guess I couldn't risk it because if I went for Will-O-Wisp and didn't fire off that priority Acrobatics, Beedrill would have outsped and a Poison Jab easily one-shots. So there's that. There was going to be a little bit of a mind games issue there, but I should have went for the Will-O-Wisp. The switch into Rhyperior was very obvious. Either way, I'm going to switch into Nightwing as he goes for the EQ. Not sure exactly who he was expecting to come in there because Fletchinder is already immune to EQ. I don't know. Possibly Ferroseed, maybe? Either way, I'm going to Toxic this thing just to get some passive damage going. Like I said before, he does not have any Clerics, so at least we have that going for us. He goes for the Swords Dance, and I don't think we saw... Yeah, no lefties. So maybe he is Life Orb, or Rocky Helmet, one or the other. But with Swords Dance, that makes me think that he is Life Orb. Either way, we're going for EQ here. Now, he likely has the Solid Rock, and that's going to do nothing, and yeah, really doesn't do that much at all, despite being Stab. But, you know, it's a Gligar, and he's uninvested, so we don't expect it to do that much to a Rhyperior anyway. The Toxic damage is going to bring him below half, and after another EQ and Toxic damage, I think, and Life Orb damage, if he has that, I'm pretty sure this Rhyperior will go down here, and I'm also pretty sure that we can take a Stone Edge. So... yeah, or Rock Blast even. Pretty sure we can take it. Not well, but we can take it. He opts to go for the Rock Slide. Okay, so he has Rock Slide just for the better accuracy, I guess, and the higher PP. And we do take that with 38 HP. So actually, we may not have taken that Stone Edge, or would have been really close. He does show off the Life Orb, and the Toxic damage is going to finish off the Rhyperior as expected. He can come in with Beedrill next. And there's not a whole lot I can do about it. While Gligar does check Beedrill just because it resists the Stab and is immune to Drill Run, I think 2 hits would still take us out. So I'm going to Roost up here. Oh, he has the Knockoff. Okay, I wonder if he just doesn't have Protect. Or if he has the Knockoff over the Drill Run. I don't know. But he gets rid of our Eviolite, and now, even though we got a Roost up, I don't know if we can take a Poison Jab. I mean, it's not very effective, though. I think either way, it's not going to matter. I'll just go for an EQ to get a little bit of damage, and we should be fine here. So, there goes the EQ. We definitely would have survived the Poison Jab. I mean, we can definitely take another Poison Jab. That's what I'm trying to say. And that EQ from an uninvested Gligar does a ridiculous amount of damage to this thing. My goodness, it is so frail. We'll go for EQ again, as he is going to U-turn out. And I don't know what you're going to go into here, but Gligar takes that hit as well. I could have roosted, but without our Eviolite, you know, we're not taking hits worth anything anyway. And at this point, now that his Rhyperior is gone, I know that we pretty much have this in the bag with Fletchinder. As long as Fletchinder doesn't, you know, we don't make a stupid play and sacrifice Fletchinder somehow. But we have this in the bag because he switches this in on an EQ, and even if he kills us this turn, we're going to get another EQ off, plus more burn damage. Slowking's physical defense isn't that great, so, yeah, that's basically what I'm trying to say. He goes for the Scald here, and yeah, so I keep saying yeah a lot. My goodness, come up with a different transition. Gee willikers. So he's going to take the burn damage here, and there's no way he's living in acrobatics from that range, and he really doesn't have much to switch in. Anything that he would switch in would be a sacrifice. He's got Beedrill with low HP and Claydol left. All three of them, from the range that they're at, die to an acrobatics. So even if you were to switch out to try to save this via Regenerator, this is not going to beat Starmie one-on-one, especially with the Natural Cure. And Ferroseed, which he can't burn, he would just have to Scald, and we can Leech Seed, and you know that would eventually end up with a loss there. So he just leaves the Slowking in to go down to the acrobatics, and Flint is going to clean up the rest of his team, and that is going to be the match. So Fletchinder proving to be a very, very efficient cleaner. Really, all we had to do was get rid of the Pawniard and the Rhyperior, and this thing just kills everything. It's a monster. It is a monster. I would not be surprised if we could have KO'd that Obamasnow from full HP, or close to full HP, just with an acrobatics. It is that powerful. Because it gets the boost up to 110 base power since we're not holding an item, and it's stab, and it's priority thanks to the Gale Wing. So people underestimate this thing. This little birdie is power right now. So, despite Mega Beedrill's very, very high natural base speed, that is going to be the end of the match here. Regardless of what he goes for, I don't think that Beedrill has any priority. I mean, not that you would need to run it on a Pokemon that is that fast anyway. But down goes the Beedrill, and that is going to be the match. So thank you very much for the battle, Andrew. I hope you enjoyed it. You know, I had a lot of fun. I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. If you did, please make sure you're leaving a like rating or a comment or whatever you would like to do. And I will see you all next time. But until then, game on.